I'd love to take you.
Keep talking. Okay, we're good.
Talking.
You're online now, buddy.
Oh, shit.
All right, just a couple of reminders. I'm going to get down to tons. Once again, welcome back to the mic. Again, we have a full part 2. It's 4 minutes, folks. 4 minutes. And just to let everybody know, there's some chapbooks up here. Are those yours, Karen?
Yeah, Karen.
Karen's and Justice, they're $1 a piece to cover printing cost. Again, we have some amazing lottery prizes, so please stick around. And please don't talk over people on the mic. We have James Cagney book for lottery. We have 2 of Greg Pond's original manuscripts from his first 2 books. So please have Tony Alderando up here with a nice band.
Yes.
And he is back for our last word.
Tony.
Guy, you're on deck.
Thank you. Respect the mic.
I'm a late night open mic, wounded cynic. Sacred grounds for me, therapeutic clinic. A poet without a space is like a city without a sound. So tonight I shake my tambourine, the sacred ground. I got the last word on the sacred microphone, so love me or leave me alone. Love me or leave me alone. Yeah. This next one's called The Town.
Oh.
Yeah. Dedicated to Oakland. I am the town. I am the athletic, the Raider, that Golden State Warrior, the Indian, the Asian, the Latino, the black man who came from the black man who came from the brown man who came from the immigrant man named Jesus. I am that liquor store on a city corner between fate and destiny, where lovers walk, yet crimes are committed. Where flowers blossom and bloom, yet bullets singing last lullabies fly by. And way too many young men and women have to die. I am the town. But why, oh why, must our young go so soon to meet their doom? Today I speak as their poet, yet I am the elephant in the room. I am the town. I am that Oakland teacher that can barely live on that ridiculous teacher's wage, who's living paycheck to paycheck, which should be a warning label at the bottom of their doctor's prescriptions page. I am the town. I am that East Bay resident who sleeps under an Oakland moon, where the police are blindfolded by dollar bills and cheap thrills, where they avoid the East Oakland and West Oakland, but not them Oakland hills. I am the town. I am that brave father who deep in his heart weeps in his heart and wants so bad to do so good. By the way things are on the streets today, is afraid of the folks in his own neighborhood. Where front yards have become front lines and children have to dodge discarded needles like landmines. I am joyed yet pained at the same time. Yet this poet is willing to do what he has to do to help make Oakland shine. I am the town. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah,
One more?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. One more by one of my favorite poets who's no longer with us. About a minute. I'm gonna do a small diggity. I'll do a short one then. Oh man, you got me on that one. Here we go. People look at me and ask, what are you, a short-haired, long-haired rapper or a poet? I say I'm a short-tempered, long-haired engineer. See, I build skyscrapers and pyramids from words designed by blueprints inside of here. Each design with one single word from the atmosphere. Now my people have built casitas en la montaña, skyscrapers in the city, and pyramids from the ground up to the clouds. Yet we're paid with a slave wage, so now we rage and protest in crowds. I repeat, we're paid with a slave wage, so now we rage and protest in crowds. Can you hear me now? We've worked all over the country for minimum and less than minimum wage. Most times off the clock, off the books, and sometimes our names aren't even on the page. Where's the dignity? I'm talking to you. You know who, man. You keep treating us less than human, man. We're the first responding laborers. When the stuff is too tough, give it to the undocumented. They'll work through the rough, rugged, and rough. We work at and built the bodegas and corners on markets on La Esquina and helped rebuild half of New Orleans after the levee broke in Katrina. Yes, my people build skyscrapers and pyramids, stadiums and pyramids, but we too need a living wage to feed our kids. Although our love of family can fill those skyscrapers and pyramids, it won't fill the empty bellies of our hungry kids. We are the Bay Area architects who work a full day for half-a-day paychecks. And that's one of those working poems. Thank you.
And Tony will be back for the last word at the very end. Guy, you're up. Mr. Rubino, you are on deck.
Hey, Guy.
Yeah.
Make sure, let me frame you because
Thank you.
change it. You are good.
It's an honor to be here.
Yep.
This is for Karen K. And it's called Chocolate Bittersweet. You stand in front of the hallway mirror with your mouth wide open, and you stare at what will kill you in 6 weeks. Who knew having your tonsils out at age 7 would one day afford you this view? What you do remember is 3 days in the hospital and all the vanilla you could eat. Not the taste so much or the flavor, it was vanilla, but the creamy salvation of cold. You wander into the freezer, open the door, and stare at all the accumulated frosty flavors. Chunky Monkey, Cherry Garcia, La Luz Rumplemint, and your new favorite, Chocolate Bittersweet.
Oh.
Robert, you're up. Rick Peter, you're on deck.
Yes, sir.
Catawampus. When you're the one who leaves, you're kind of cold-blooded like a surgeon or butcher. You're a calm, capable, complete con man. You're a self-serving, peace-loving warmonger when you're the one who leaves. You're a smug, bonfire-building, book-burning thug, muddying memories, rewriting history, Ministry of Truth's Employee of the Month when you're the one who leaves. You're fierce, savage, destructive. You rip out the rearview mirror, you stomp on the accelerator. You're infamous. You're a regular bat out of hell. When you're the one who's been left, you're left looking angry and anemic, unable to grip cold, hard truth, only raging righteous regret. Self-respect, so suspect, there's no food, no sleep, no break from the pathetic plunge into all-day, all-night pity parties when you're the one who's been left. It's devastating, enervating, humiliating. It's earthquake, tornado, volcano, fiasco. You're askew, awry, victim, chump, uncool fool, cast in unwanted roles in surreal cinerama scenes of grand opera, comic opera, and of course, soap opera.
Rick Peter up. And Antoinette, you are on deck.
Okay, tonight's theme may have been love me or leave me. What's with this forgetting? Forgetting the unannounced, great, wild blooming, or the terrible departures. Walking around like unfeeling automatons and zombies. What's with this callous forgetting? Our business as usual, the careful demeanor. No wonder that poets keep notebooks or occasionally mention Laura or speak of love. 2. Love me or leave me. The swift swing of that song, Billy's dry voice, 1954. Chico wants to be heard. Willie, sweets and red behind her. big band havoc. Love me or leave me. Look out, stand aside, let the zephyr winds sweetly pass by. When love hits or lands, each word in the tritest ballad comes through, seeps in like a flock of bees. And the worry over all that, if it isn't you, I'd rather be independently blue, blue, blue.
Oh,
Nice.
I won't fake it. I came here tonight without a political poem. A dog ate my homework. Damn you, Filbert. But I can quote Patchen and Shelley and Blake. To hell with power, hate, and war. Ye are many, they are few. And Blake, a last judgment is necessary because fools flourish.
Nice.
Antoinette, you're up. Bob, you're on deck.
Kill it again. Because she killed it last week.
This is called 20/20 Vision. Nasty narcissists can mesmerize, manipulate, incite, divide, demand loyalty, launder hate where seeds settle, aim to control, lies spew to diversion, while white supremacy glorifies nasty narcissists poised for power. Deadly ties to dictators, violence escalates, peaceful people fear future, they are weakened. Most narcissists wield close to home, except those equipped to reach beyond, stay strong. Playoff between light and dark, wild time to be alive. Watch adversity inspire beauty in response. Children calling for gun control, teenager leading back from climate change, empowered women becoming leaders, we fight racism. We assert against concentration centers, death penalty, fracking, poisoned water. Artists like superheroes slant towards shared humanity. In every city and rural town, we take this murky swamp down.
Whoa!
Whoa! Short for
Stay in bed, hold me, love me, leave me. To demand perfection, complete loyalty without compromise, let the good times go. First, I silence myself, restrict advice or criticism, try for question, sometimes if I'm deserving requests. Then I silence the world, run on fewer senses, taking hearing off the table. It's hard to be with someone while silent in solitude. Gentle winds bend down overhead cypress branches, shiny eucalyptus glitters, cloudless summer solstice sky. People planet the park with their dogs. See without sound, crushed tiny white daisies stand up to footprints.
And right here on this side or this side? This side, okay. There you go. All right. Aaron, and you gotta talk into the mic. Because if not, we can't hear you. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer. There you go. Let me, got it? There you go.
All right, I chose this story to read mostly because it will fill the time, I think. But it's not really a story, but it is a portrait of the family I was brought up in. My mother's family name was Jaeger, and that means hunter in German. And so anyway, the story is called Hunter Meet Thy Heart. And it's really a conglomeration of fantasies, dreams, and memories all together. So I'll just read it. My uncle was a mechanic. Before that, a cab driver. His name was Nathan. We called his children's mother Gertie. She, a proud one, like a rock that never dies. Big like the rest of them, we thought. She gave them beauty and goodness. And after Leslie departed, they all fell, one by one, that family. It was a heart attack that took him from them, of course, from us. One of us thought seriously he was funny. That one was Dolores, and the other, Barbara. That Barbara, who was her brother's sister, would always do as she pleased, quiet and dark, and always thinking of Dolores. Yet Leslie was too big to be proud. Could fix the car and engine as moot as steal the car. That was he, jolly as a father who never smiled. Yes, he. At this point in time, he was taking piano lessons. Excited like a stone in a tunnel, he listened as his cousin told him, that was I, his instructor was blind. Passing that by, he lifted his entire self almost from his seat on the piano bench in celebration and cried, "Boss, that's boss." Boss, his cousin said, me again. It meant good. Boss meant good. 1962. The unsuspecting world went that way about its business, trembling before no one, New York, and the year was 1962. When will speech not be a criminal offense? Who shall speak otherwise than the law? The whole family mourned above his grave, yet they were not people who thought deeply about woe then. They knew the sisters as themselves, that was all, and those two would outlive all of them. This is a story with no plot, two sisters to come each year to play stones, for they are also not people who bring flowers to the grave, only those. And why not flowers when the year-long trees whisper about the dead? Leslie had learned that piano had keys, black and white, and a piano teacher who could not see them with his eyes, who is in the way of this family which survives, who wants to be but cannot, who has the power. Don't I know? The other side. Fat, he said, rarely. He looked at the flowers on the mantelpiece and then at his tiny mother, 1929. His eyes sought something within the arch they call the hearth, a part of a hearth anyway. But there was nothing like ashes there, flowers everywhere, and nothing like ashes in the hearth. Oy vey, if she cooked for God knew how many. God knows. A woman's patience is like dying. He had to get out into whatever weather, so long as it wasn't raining. I can leave her at the door, no magic. He doffed his cap and said in English, for he only understood Yiddish, "I'm going out." "So torture me," she said in Yiddish. "Wear a scarf, you'll be cold like your food." "It's shining sunlight, understand? I'll be back, don't worry." "Cold like your food," she said. "Don't torture yourself, you still have a mother." 10 years old, nearly 11, and he felt like a trillion in the cool air. The light was between afternoon and nightfall. "Dollar to dollar, you don't toss a 7, he yelled as he stopped in his tracks. They were shooting craps. "Sure, Mendel, wanna win one?" "What, $1 or a penny?" "A penny ain't worth nothing, so they tell him a quarter. 'Cause your mother knows what $1 is." They were older and bigger than he, so he took it and squatted to watch. A 7. Who wins the dollar? Who wins the dollar? "Call it sleep, your mother wins, 'cause you ain't got no." But he shoved with all his might the die roller, so he went over on his side and laughed. "No father," he yelled after Mendel, and he ran until his breath was gone. They knew. Everyone knew his father wasn't dead, out in the street at 10 years old. He felt like $1 billion. He would have to suffer cold, so what? We're all of us Jews anyway, so where's your sense of humor? Except that guy Julio, and I don't care. What's a Jew anyway? Huh? Fair. Brothers and sisters had he none. If I had a sister, I would shove them what's what, like Ruth or maybe Delilah, and I would grow hair down to my knees. Jesus, that guy Julio's got balls. In the apartment down the hall lived a girl named Anna, like his mother. They stopped sometimes to speak to each other, and sometimes they would play grown-ups or other games. They would play like parents. They knew how to become parents. They knew, but they didn't care about that. They were friends. Sometimes one of them would drop in on the other's family in case the other was there. They cared. It was as if they always had known one another. Then they were just kids. But kids grow up one day. They didn't see much of each other when they were teens. Anna's Tante Clara grew old, and can one visit forever? What teens don't know, Manny Mendel was ever so popular at that time, and what with the Depression, Manny didn't work, but Anna had to. Manny's mother sold bathtub gin, and to protect her business, she slept with the cops. Anna didn't know she wouldn't have faulted him for it anyway, but anyway, such things were nobody's business but Manny's own. Saul awakened to a dream that was only half gone. He smiled at the other half of the dream, which was his room. Manny was asleep in the bed behind him. Saul stood up and Manny said, "Saul, you're not asleep? I had a dream." "What dream?" Manny said. "That our brother Sidney could walk." "Sidney can't walk," Manny told him simply. "Who knows? It was a dream." Up in the Bronx, far away, in another place and time, Barbara placed her glasses on her pert nose. She called them spectacles to be smart, and went into Sister's room. "Are you asleep?" "No, if I were asleep, I couldn't say no, eh? Leslie's crying woke me." "Now he's not crying. So Mom is feeding him. Are you angry?" "You didn't wake me," said Dolores. She had heard the crying too. "He cries like a rushing river. No one sleeps. Papa's already at work. I heard too the car go, and the baby crying and Mama in the kitchen. I was awake. Eh? You don't have to be at work till 10 o'clock. Mama will need rest, or she doesn't care." Papa gave her what to buy groceries with. I'll add some. Go, my dear sister, to school. April 1946. In July of 46, Anna's first baby would be born. She would go on to bear a second and later a third. Last and youngest was the girl, divorced Shoshana, Deborah Rose. Benjamin was the oldest. Between them, those two, was born Aaron Reuben. They would not be at the funeral for Leslie, their cousin. For years, even until after the payments for the service were finished and many rocks had been put on the gravestone, Deborah Rose would wonder, why not? Why not? Yet she too was not there at the cemetery. Part 2. A pogrom is not like a concentration camp.
Before you start, time's up.
Time's up?
Yeah.
All right, that's part 1.
All right.
That's great.
Did Jane leave? Jane Radis?
She
gone?
left.
She left. All right, well then up to the mic is Sharon, our storyteller, and Rob, you are on deck.
I added an inch to your
I know I'm bigger than life.
You are bigger than life. Definitely my life.
Nothing is going to be given to you. You have to make things happen. Florence Griffith Joyner.
Yes.
This is called Rabbit Ears. The Townsends had a big, grand, 3-story Queen Anne house. They rented out the upside, but it was a beautiful house. And it wasn't uncommon in those days for people to rent out their houses. If you were lucky, you got the 3rd floor, it was the attic, and it was beautiful. You had your own door, you walked up the stairs, and it was your palace. But in this big house, on the 2nd floor, many people lived. They had their own rooms, they had what they called kitchenettes. Back east, some people called them buffets. You had a room and a kitchen, and you shared the bath. You knew your neighbors because you knew what time you were supposed to go to the bathroom. And you knew how long you were supposed to stay in the bathroom. And if you stayed 1 damn minute longer, you knew how long you shouldn't have been in the bathroom. So, it wasn't uncommon for everybody to sit on the porch and fan. On Fridays, you could hear people listening to the ball games. You could hear people talking. The men who belonged to church quartets, you could hear them practicing. And you could also hear the women talking. You could hear the women in the summer on the phone. They were talking. You could hear him on the swing, creaking, fanning, fanning, fanning. And then times got good. And people started to get televisions. Oh boy. One television per block, maybe two if someone was flush. And here they are, everybody crowded around the TV sets, prized. The women loved it because there was another piece of furniture to dust, to polish, to be proud of. The men loved it because it gave them something to do, something to tinker with, something to be the chairman of. And they were the chairman of the dial. Okay, well, our one happy couple, they have a big house. They've got the big house, and they've got the first TV on their block. So, time to have people come visit. And the people came to visit. And they visited many times, and only the man of the house could touch the dial. Well, everyone had his method. Some banged on it. Some of them rattled the tiles. Some of them just kicked it. But there was always the friendly TV repairman who would come. He would come with his box of tubes. And that box of tubes he would test, and he would leave, and your set would be okay. If the set had to be taken away, it was like losing a child. It was like grandma had gone to the hospital. A week away, oh my God. When he came back, there were cheers. People loved him. And so, our family had friends come, and everyone was going to watch the Friday night fights. Gillette, look sharp, be sharp. Food, 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 food. And everyone was waiting to turn on the TV for the fights because Joe Louis was fighting. And everyone sat down. Be sure to put your coaster on that coffee table. Don't you ruin our good stuff. And so they sat down. And while they went back to the kitchen to fix some more drinks, the little kid said, he says he's having trouble with the vegetable. No, it's the vertical. Okay, we can fix it. Send the girls out to the kitchen to get some foil paper. Everybody knows you put foil on rabbit ears. Makes the TV work. The girls sneak the foil out, and the boys get busy. Here they are. Foil on the rabbit ears. Foil on the tubes in the back. Foil on the plug that goes into the wall. And foil on the dials. Everybody sits down. Turn the TV set on. Everybody's relaxed. Men have their cigars, El Producto Favorito, 3 for 50 cents. The women have their fans because they're suffering with menopause. And they turn the TV on, and there's sparks, and there's smoke, and there's fire. Okay. Somebody pull that damn thing out from the wall. Does anybody know how to get Emmett? Who has Emmett's home phone number? And they find Emmett. Emmett comes over, takes the set out, says, I guess you foiled it.
Is Matt Proctor still here? Okay, cool. I think some people left. I just need to check on this. Come on up, Rob. Do your thing. I'll let you set up. And you can do that yourself. Did Yasmin leave?
No, didn't. Oh,
She left?
I
Sorry.
didn't say goodbye.
What about Matt Jones? Is he here? Matt Jones?
Matt Jones. Going once, going twice.
Jake Patterson?
Going once, going twice.
Joseph Steger? Okay, I'm gonna leave you. Julian, you're still here. Nicholas, you're still here.
Yes.
Donovan, you're still here. Abigail's still here.
Abigail? Yeah.
Abigail's still here. Great. Greg Pond is still here.
Oh, yeah.
Marco Harris.
Marco Harps.
Okay, sorry, my bad. And Karen, you're still here. Jacob's still here. Good. All right, we're back in business. I just saw people leave, and I just want to make sure there we go. So Matt, you're on deck.
All right. I'm gonna inflict this one on you because I just got my first regular gig as a musician at a cabaret that is opening in the Mission. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And so here's a cabaret song that is called, well, exactly what you might guess it is called.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, nicely done.
I'm walking around with a happy bounce cause I pooped. Floating like a feather off the ground cause I pooped. Here's a nugget of contemplation, 10 tons of dump in your life's duration. If you think this tune an abomination, relax, don't get stress, constipation. A million tons of human poop every single day. Skipper caterpillars shoot poop from 5 feet away. If you don't want the shit to hit the fan, behind a hippopotamus never ever stand. England has a bus that's powered by poo. Surgical shit transplants, quite good for you. On top of Everest there's a mountain of poo. On the moon, Neil Armstrong left a few too. I'm walking around with a happy bounce cause I pooped. Floating like a feather off the ground cause I pooped. Here's a nugget of contemplation, 10 tons of dump in your life's duration. If you think this tune an abomination, we hope you don't get pregnant, constipation. Oh, audience, are you ready for the quiz? Yeah! National Poop Day, real or fake?
Real.
Real. Poop houses, real or fake?
Real.
Real. Poop coffee, real or fake?
Real.
Real. Poop makeup, real or fake?
Real.
Real. Poop sickles, real or fake?
Fake. That's gotta be
Fake.
I
Poop
won't eat.
vomit, real or fake? Real. I'm walking around with a happy bounce cause I pooped. Floating like a feather off the ground cause I pooped. Here's a nugget of contemplation, 10 tons of dump in your life's duration. If you think this tune an abomination, poop-shaped dildos, real or fake?
Real.
If you're not sure about that one, look it up. I don't want to be the only one who will never unsee what I have seen. We hope you don't get geriatric constipation. Thank you. Let me just add, I'm a little disturbed that so many people knew about the poop-shaped dildos.
Mr. Proctor, let's go. And who's on deck? Who's on deck?
Wow.
Matt, you're on deck. Or Joseph, you're on deck. Yeah.
Open mic is so lit. I can't believe it. That was insane. We're here from out of town. I was here about 6 months ago, and I wrote this book.
He's a first timer.
Yeah. I've never been to favorite grounds. I mean,
wow. You're in my book. I quoted something that you said.
Oh my God.
You mentioned this thing because everything was on fire. It was around November last year. So I just want to read. I just want to read this little excerpt.
Okay.
This is sort of like my reinterpretation. Just this little brief part. Natives administered burn-off in the fall. Settlers didn't like the smoke. Now the floor grows into kindling.
Yeah.
That's why everything was on fire.
Yeah.
Because the settlers they would burn it off. The natives knew.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to read a short excerpt from this. So this is November last year. Blabbermouth Night, November 16th.
Smoke scrims the vistas. Supposedly the worst air quality in the world today in San Francisco, equivalent to smoking 7 or 8 cigarettes. We text Grayson, is Spooky Mansion canceled? Are you kidding? When did some smoke ever stop rock and roll? High school bedroom. When I was taking a break, I was actually hard at work. Light inhaling window right where our eyes can see as they sleep. Video call, consequence of psychedelic rugs and interrogating management. Telly family in Tehran on video call. I'm Amir, Nader's best friend from high school, and they greet me as if I were. So strong is the resemblance, primarily in spirit and hair length. 60s are over, Nader ventures across the breakfast table when Sarah says she could live in a bus. My plate was smiley yellow with the drawing of a trailer on it that said, happy. Everything's a sign because they turned down the opacity on the simulation. We flew into the smoke and it's raining when we leave. In between, we raise not hell, but earth to the level of heaven, rather than lower it to ours. Committing the opposite of shoplifting at city lights, prayed hymn to Ginsberg, he says hi, we're admirers in the nude. Leaving books, beatniks are obnoxious, the fuck was that? Corso, Gasoline, Vesuvio, Alley, Patterson, Wayland, lunch poems hit the deck. She's clumsy, funny like me. Love, like Bergson says, a lifelong cooperation. Caught the launch on both coasts, Dutch in Amalfi, De Carico cutting into mountain mists of steam and fire. Fresco, Italianate, atelier with great light absurd. The master at their word, a creator of silence in awe at the gate. Flowers, moments. I am Amazon HQ. 10-cent bag fee, polygonal bay window, jutting townhouse. Took me 9 months to realize this is the only year I'll be half my dad's age. He 66, me 33. November 18th, time lapse. This is how the city works, quickly changing. You're always there even when you leave. Incremental decisions carrying along. Traffic scribbling below the sun, turning slowly into the moon. Thank you.
Okay. Joseph, you're up, and Julie and Jay, you're on deck. Joseph, are you a first timer?
No.
No, but Julian coming up is, so get ready. We got a couple of newcomers coming up.
Didn't Julian follow me last time I was here? I could have swore when I watched the clip I heard everyone going, Julian! Is he here? Where's Julian? Was that the... No, different person. Well, my apologies. It was good to be here. I was in a real good mood, feeling like I want to come here, share some good energy, right? So I get to San Leandro Park Station, there's a man sitting there with a big sign that says, nuclear war will happen. Not on purpose, but by mistake. Okay, well. Kind of changed my direction of thought. So I'm just going to sing this one. Our crimes and misdemeanors. Our president is a farmer of hate, planting the seeds of division. Oh, where his lies will create. Constantly trusting deception as a means to keep all in the dark. He speaks with the tongue of a serpent, as double speak masks what is stark. High crimes and misdemeanors, planting the opposite of life's giving tree. He triggers the psychosis of evil as fish take the bait to death's spree. Trump insults sanctuary cities because we represent something he won't. We prove we can thrive in diversity, making prey of the different we don't. For the sake of those who are going to be watching the archives, can you please tell me the theme of tonight?
Love me or leave me.
Love me or leave me, can we say that to the top? If you don't like the way we think, well, don't stop. You know, to have your attention is awesome, and I'm thinking, what do I sing? What do I sing? It's just wonderful to be in the company of fellow poets. Let me just say that. Yeah. Since the dawn of recorded history, Mortal Kombat has been a fact. Did I do that one a few weeks ago last time I was here?
Don't remember.
Okay. We are even told the first son of man was murdered by his brother's act. We only know what we are told, though indeed we were not there. But war has plagued our species at different times, most everywhere. Here in these United States, when they were not united by nothing more than color uniform, opposing teams were shot when sighted. As barbaric as the past may seem, when we are looking back at the times of such atrocities, they are thought the proper track. Vaccination against such ill is this poet's attempted task, even if it seems unrealistic that war's prevention one should ask. Like running toward the ocean and demanding the next wave to stop. So it is the advancing of armies ignore the pleas of their human crop, speaking a different language with orders to ignore. Despite the pleading of mothers, families are slaughtered in war. This is not unfounded fiction or the words of the mentally ill. These are horrific facts of history. War means soldiers kill. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's an adage of old, we've all been told. Therefore, to different purpose, it's a struggle to not be sold. Because of my medic background and the tragedies I've seen, from potentials affecting our species, my soul cannot be clean. War is held by human hands. Thus, before its flames are lit, in the evolution of creation, we must evolve to conquer it. Energy used for destruction could propel us to the stars, proven by the engines that we use daily in our cars. Petroleum could be destructive, but as fuel it is harnessed well. Likewise, our warheads on missiles could take us to the heavens instead of hell. I gotta skip around and check out how much time went.
You're done.
You're done.
Oh, dang it!
But you can end it quickly.
Education is that master tool whereby impossible is not, and from what never was before, we invent with what we've got. Cars and planes and rocket ships, cell phones, games and satellites, electricity and processed fuel and... okay, I'll just give it.
Julian, you're up.
Julian J, up to the mic. This is a first timer.
Nicholas, you're on deck.
And 4 minutes.
You gotta get the mic.
Oh yeah, cool.
All right. And let me.
So I wasn't actually supposed to perform, but something worth talking about came up just like, I'd say like an hour ago, so. Let me just, bear with me here. An excerpt from Julian J's voicemail.
Julian, you're hella fucking shitty, you know? I was really looking forward to, talking to you today because I have some things that I kind of wanted to say. But obviously, you don't care. And, I told you yesterday night, like I told you that, you know, things were on my mind, and I was hoping that I could actually get to talk to you today about it, but, you know, you don't care because you forgot about what I said last night. You forgot that I'm thinking about things, and you forget that, you know, I'm not okay right now. And, you know, you can pretend that you care, and you can pretend that you can pretend to ask me, are you okay? Which I'm obviously not, because if I was, I wouldn't have texted you those things. But you don't care. Okay? You genuinely do not care and give a single crap about me, because while you're having fun out there, I'm alone in my room. Just wishing that maybe someone was here with me so I could really tell them, and that last hope that I have for us is gone now, because you fucking don't. You're so selfish, you know, like I know.
She's selfish, don't listen to that. I'm sorry.
Respect the mic.
That is respect.
You have me broken, soaked, soaking and wallowing in my own damn sorrow. Wishing that the curtains close and there won't be any more tomorrow. And this is partly improvised. I just wrote it down before I went up because I know I'll forget it. So don't have it televised. Y'all ears are open, but need not you listen, since these words I speak are mine and only for me. I don't want my mama to see the tears gushing out my eyes, because I've been convicted of a crime that not even death will have you absolve me. How can I have cheated when you never thought to claim me? We weren't a thing, till jealousy got the better of me. You blame me all the goddamn time. How could someone be the source of my delight and concurrently be the cause of my demise? So let's just call it quits. Cause it's love me or leave me. You don't show signs of the former, so just leave me. Death to the love of my life. An old chapter closes, a new one opens. Shit.
As they've said, when art is being professed, do not be the turpentine. So respect the mic once again, folks. Nicholas, you are up. Donovan, you are on deck. And Nicholas is a first timer as well.
What's going on? Alright. What the fuck happened to saying hello? Your friends come up to visit and just be on their phones. They got less personality traits than Instagram posts and only tweet about shit that matters when it helps them get hoes. I'm so sick and tired of people only caring about clothes. You get some money and you buy yourself a t-shirt. Printed on it is a brand, $40 what it's worth. It's not an image of a band that you like to listen to. It's not a picture that you like that was painted by the hand of your favorite ever artist, Basquiat, Herring, Picasso, or somebody from your city who helped your neighborhood grow. It's a man up on a horse or some white man's last name, and whenever you wear it, he gets to giggling from his grave because his estate just made a buck off some tired-ass designing because everybody else wore it. You thought you liked it at the time, and you didn't really realize how no one gives a fuck what kind of clothes you got on, or if your shoes are just some Chucks, Skechers, Levi's, pay less. Michael Jordan couldn't care less. He made bread selling you breads twice. So you could look like everybody else and start to think that you're nice and pop a pose up on Instagram in your Chinese sweatshop kicks, making the choice to forget that it's damn near slaves making your shit. Why are you loyal to these companies? You're just one more consumer who hands them cash on a regular basis because you think their shit makes you fresh, and you ignore that they're all racist, and you think that it's all better because they issued an apology after making that blackface sweater. Gucci. These companies, conglomerates, fashion houses, and corporations participate in exploitation of the masses, indiscriminate of races. They'll be quick to make some shit out of recycled ocean plastic just to save their face and save their asses. How close to home do these problems have to get? You already lost your friends and family when they raise the rent. It's one thing to walk on by those homeless men in tents, but it's another thing if you're not enraged when you hear about the children at the border kept in cages with no pages. With no parents, my bad. I'm starting to feel like law and order are things America in general no longer values. And speaking of values, you might as well just cast yours aside and seek how for the president. Stand tall for the anthem and Take the cap off your head or I'll put a dent in it. With this AR after I take the parts out of my packed pants socks, load and assemble it. The seven-headed beast in Revelations 13, the top 7 of the Fortune 500 is starting to resemble it. Exxon pays your politicians to work for him, and you might be angry, but you are not assembling. Berkshire Hathaway is beyond big and strong, but we're not trying to disassemble it. McKesson and United Health care more about their profits than the health of us U.S. residents. The apple in the Garden of Eden gave us sin, but Steve's brings forth much more pestilence, global distraction, and babies with screen addictions. And not to mention, they'll sell you the same shit as the X when they come out with the 11, and you'll still buy it because you feel like you need the new shit. Got you thinking you can't get the same features with an alternative. Got people cutting you off because your message is green on their side. Damn. You know it's good marketing when people believe in the lies. You've seen those Walmart employee training videos. They want you to snitch if you see your coworkers trying to unionize. Taking video games off shelves, but not the guns that really take lives. Jeff Bezos' Amazon isn't the one that's burning, and that makes me want to cry. The real war is shaping out to be between the rich and poor. Religion, creed, and color shouldn't get between us anymore. That's a battle us common folk gotta fight all alone. That's a war that our government won't get behind. It'd be the right thing to do, but there's no oil on the line. Haha. I'm scared, mama. No, I ain't scared of what's under my bed or behind my door, in the closet or underneath the floor, or what's gonna grab at my feet if I leave them poking out the bottom of my sheets. The wealthy and powerful are the real beasts. 3.
Oh!
Whoa! Donovan, you are up. Donovan? And Abigail, you are on deck. Abigail still here? Okay.
You did.
So, like, I wrote this other poem and it was about death and it was hella heavy.
A little louder.
A little louder. Yeah, speak right into it.
Okay, and I was trying to write another poem that was heavy because, like, all the poems are so heavy, but all I got is a love poem, but at the same time, I love my love poem. So it's called Go to Sleep, and yeah. It's strange to sleep beside you, waking up within a centimeter of your pulsing, soft pink. Your consciousness is out the window, yet eyes closed, you speak to me in a soft lull. In some strange way, you pull me into that place between being and knowing. With a contagious sedation draping over me in noir nothingness before the next act. Dare I break this beautiful moment to join you in that blanket of darkness? Because as my eyes adjust to this low light, I stare and stare and stare to spite those doubts that everything won't be alright. I mean, how could I face the fear of you not being here when your face is against mine and it's all my mind can take in? How could I prepare for a time after you, with my mind after you, as it plasters your pictures across every inch of every corner of my brain? How will I deal with the time when it isn't the same as when you first entered my eyesight? I want to shake you. Tell me please that it will be alright. Postpone the torture of this insecure night. But I know it's just best that I let her sleep tight. And take in this night like a moment made of glass. And wear my worries like a beautiful sash. And treasure that I love you like this moment's our last.
Jeremy and I were Monday night at Bird and Beckett, and Donovan and Nicholas and yeah, they came into Bird and Beckett, and we told them about Sacred Grounds, and
I told them they had arrived.
Yeah, and they showed up. So thank you, gentlemen, and please stick around for the raffle. Abigail, you in the house? Well, she asked to sign up, and she said, "Can I do comedy?" And I said, "Is it any good?" She said, "Yeah," and I said, "Be nice to the white guys." Okay.
Hi. Hello. So what's the theme again?
Love them or leave them.
Love them or leave them. So hi, I haven't had sex in 5 months, and boy, did I leave them. So I have been with this one person for the past 5 months, and I've had sex once. And I am not a hard person. Come on, baby. I am easy. Just communicate, tell me what you want, and we're all peaches and cream. But, you know, I guess it's just really hard to send a little message like, "Hey, babes, I'm busy. I can't talk to you right now." So I've been left on red for the whole month of July. And what did I do? I went to their work at the end of the month to say hi, to get turned down by the door because they were closing. Did I take that as a sign? No. So, my big ish is, just tell me. Tell me that you're busy. Because you left me for 5 months thinking that we had a thing. We went on dates after date after date, telling me we're gonna have a great time, which we did. But I didn't come at the end of the night, baby. Had to do the job myself. And baby, I am lazy. I don't want to do any work. That's your job. It came to the point where I reopened my Tinder and I went back to men. Do you know how low in your life you have to be to go back to men? I am so deprived that my bio is so easy a caveman can do it. Geico. That is not a joke. If you turn on Tinder and you find me, it is right there, plain in words. So, until then, I guess I am just gonna wait for my happy Prince Charming or anything that just runs along the mill. Thank you guys. Short time.
All right, Abigail. Thank you, Abigail. Great Pond, you're up. Sorry. Who's after Greg? Who's after Greg?
Mark. Mark.
Mark's on deck.
Marco Hart.
On deck.
Marco Hart.
In case somebody is going to get hurt by this, Fox key for him.
Let's hope the best.
You got it.
All right. Greg Pond in the house.
Oh, Greg Pond! Greg Pond! Next Pond Warrior. We're working on it.
Enough is enough.
Yes, there you go.
It's tough enough just to persevere, just to find a way to address the same old stresses that hang over the heads of other women and men who pose a status quo threat simply by being black or brown or beige or gay. We all do our best to protect our mortal flesh, but no matter how hard we try, we can't seem to get away, can't anticipate or dodge the spray of bullets intended, misdirected, or stray, that at any moment could find their way through layers of any human skin, puncturing veils of protection, piercing epidermal levels of light and melanin, because there's little that will prevent the metal from entering, or damaging communities, families, and then the offering of thoughts and prayers, leaving grieving friends and kin, feeling the sting and stun by the sudden slap of tragedy that triggered a flow of tears, travel down the barrel of a gun and turn seconds into years. When blood can be so casually splattered, how much do black lives, brown lives, white lives matter? Who really cares if blood is smeared across the street of an accidental drive-by, so long as it's not over here or anyone I know about or care, regardless if unarmed in the back or holding two hands up, robbery, shot by cop, by racist as a victim of a snuff, or even by a white supremacist terrorist holding a semi-automatic gun. Is this what we call evolution? When will enough be enough? Some are willing to kill on sight just to protect their Second Amendment rights. Now we have more guns than people that we can shoot off every night. The NRA holds the Senate at bay, holds the president in his pocket, and the rest of us at the end of a rusty bayonet. But if we learn to trust in human life, we can save the prayers and regrets for another place and another time. If we reach out and touch with our hands and hearts instead of with a gun, then maybe, just maybe, we won't have to cry as often, or as hard, or as much.
And once again, Greg Pond has donated the original manuscripts for his first 2 books of poetry. They're autographed here and they'll be a part of the raffle. Who's after Mark? Karen?
Marco.
Karen.
Karen.
Karen, you're on deck.
Marco.
Yes, what is it?
Marco. Marco. Anybody find Marco? Where's Marco?
I resemble that remark.
Into the mic.
No, I don't want to say that to the mic because
Got it.
I don't want to be oblivious. I mean obvious because obviously I'm oblivious. Oblivious. This is my prayer at midnight. I also sense some contentment as I commence to repent. I am living in this time Lent, grateful to have the heart to vent while we wonder where the years went and continue to pay the rent for being in this body tent. May my words prove what my acts meant. I am not always or all in all ways the best gent. May my acts back the words I've sent to ethereal firmament. Here's to kindness over blindness, and may my actions make a dent in the distrustful seeds I've sown. We interrupt this prayer with this internet regret. Yes, you too can be made brand new. Just send 1995 to Jimmy Swaggart the Braggart, and we guarantee you'll be set free from your money. Thank you, blindly. This is the elephant expression. Elegant as an elephant, egressing and trumpeting, singing its thing, while some damn ignorant tyrant tries to trophy the remaining few into extinction. Still, these magnificent mammals of distinction will walk on the grave of he who counts it brave to just talk. These beautiful beasts will mourn their dead, while fools find it noble to trade ivory for bread. Yeah, thank you blindly, as I like to say. Oh, I'm going to be real loud now. Here we go.
Uh-oh, Rocker.
Well, the Grateful Dead said red and white, and them blue suede too. Well, you can call my man them same old new U.S. blues. I am Uncle Scam, that's who the hell I am, and I've been hiding now in the swamps of Vietnam and in the sands of Sudan. I will blind your mind, you will believe I'm kind. I will poison all your waters and your unborn sons and daughters. Steal your women's voices, rob all of your choices, then I'll take your taxes. That's what the facts is. I'm Uncle Scam. I spell it S-C-A-M. Just don't seem to give a good goddamn. What's it gonna be between this wild world and me? Hate or harmony, peace or insanity, friend or enemy. I'm Uncle Scam, that's who the hell I am, and I've been hiding out and you're rocking so bad. Thank you.
That was some good Woodstock, huh? Karen, I'm just going to let everybody know, Karen Melandra Magoon is up. She has her chapbook here for sale for $1.
No, it's okay. Just, you can have, I'll give them 3 of them and just give them away.
Okay.
That gets confusing.
Something's going on.
I'm just gonna do a song so Ted can close up shop.
No,
Is
we're
that
good.
good? All right,
We're good. We're good. We got more people. You're not last. We got people
Then
after you.
two
Barry.
songs, okay.
Do your thing.
4
All
minutes.
right.
You got 4 minutes.
Okay.
Mike, respect the
I'll
mic.
start with two songs and see. Okay. It's been a lovely evening. Thank you for the new people and thank you for the inspiration and all the wonderful poetry.
Yeah.
So these are songs that, that you'll see. They're kind of my little thing. Who am I? It's hard to say. Will I still be tomorrow what I was yesterday? Will the family that know me still know me today? The person I once was, will the same one today? Who am I? It's hard to say. Where was I born? In the USA. What is my home? It's so hard to say. Where will I go? It's so hard to say. My boundaries are stretched from Japan to Morocco. A flag of my soul flies in France. I'll sing to my friends in Madrid or Cuba if they'll teach me their ways to dance. A brown man's my brother, my sister is white, my uncle is amber, my dad's dark as night. Who am I? It's hard to say. Will I still be tomorrow what I was yesterday? Will the family that know me still know me today? And the person I once was feel the same one today? Who am I? Okay, and the second one. When will the memories of war be silenced? When will the people learn? And when will peace transform each act of violence? When will the nations learn? Think of all the bread that can be bought for 20 bullets. Schools in place of arsenals and homes. In place of all the weapons made to make the memories of war. When will the nations learn? Build a home or a school to celebrate each act of peace. There shall children learn until the violence might cease. Then shall the nations learn. When will the people learn?
Jacob Sandigo up, and then we will have our last word with Tony after this.
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
I forgot this guy. What's his name again?
My godson.
He's your godson.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Actually.
Yeah.
I don't know how the math works on that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah.
I
That's
guess
funny math.
you can refer to this as a poem. See, I'm not quite sure. Slip like Freudian, play yourself like an accordion, can be heard coming from the circle of bike messengers resting under the gazebo. Their phones begin to go off like cicadas. Damn it. When you're all gung-ho and ready to go, silence, tumbleweeds, nada. But as soon as I roll a joint and crack open a beer, ding, ding, ding. The playground adjacent to them has evolved into a crack den. Children haven't played here since Nixon was throwing up deuces and poets could still afford rent, even taking a stab at painting in their free time. The bike messengers top off a flask of Seagram's, the poor man's sacrament, and mount their steeds, preparing to battle the Priuses and oblivious tourists. Their departure directs my attention to the darkness as I get up to leave for 24th Street. A freelance magician stops to ask if I am the man who deals the bird seeds for a Lincoln. You got the wrong guy, I say. Lose the beard then. Abe was always honest. I recognize your face. I'm here every day just like you. It's called Murphy's Law. What will happen, happens. That's a direct quote.
Before we get our last words, did Noah stick around, or is Noah gone? Okay. Tony?
Okay.
take it out.
Right, Tony.
I got a frame.
Okay, there you go.
I need your voice here. Use it.
All right.
Use that mic.
I read my first poem at the age of 7 and had my poetry bell rung. And now I have 70 times 7 poems tattooed to the tip of my tongue. I've always loved rhyming with poetry ever since I read Dr. Seuss books when I was young. My name's Tony Algerando. I got the last word, and that's the last introduction. Here we go. At the age of 8, the police broke down our door with a battering ram and pointed guns at my daddy's face, wearing their thick, black, bulletproof vests. Then I heard their walkie-talkie say, "Stand down, Miller, disengage. We've got the wrong address." I remember after that day, both my parents were a mess. Daddy used to say, "Son, many of us are used in the U.S., confused in the U.S., and sometimes told and taught we're less in the U.S., but that they'll never confess." You know, I'll never forget that policeman's face with the black bulletproof vest. Now let me get this off my chest. In this land called our country, I can't believe the things I see. So much police brutality. Police in blue, I speak to thee. Serve and protect, please don't beat me. Serve and protect, please don't beat me. Thank you. Woo! A letter to who else but her. How come I need sleep, but can't fall asleep? But I can write this poem. How come I inspire you when you're my inspiration? How come when I breathe around you, life smells so much better? How come when you visit me and it's time to go, I never want to let you go? How come roses fade? How come when I look at you, I think of us? Spring is my favorite time of year. How come? How come I pray for you at night and I forget to pray for me? How come everyone says I need to slow down? How come we always care what other people think? And material possessions mean more to people than people? How come in Puerto Rico, when it rains, the sun shines? How come I love you more than life itself and want more than anything? For you to be happy and free, even if it means not being with me. My love is eternal, can't you see? How come you feel like destiny? How come when I look at your pictures, I cry? How come some clowns have sad faces? How come when my pillow smells like you, I sleep a whole lot better? How come I'm happy when I light my candles and sad when they go out? Maybe it's because I don't have a lot of candles. How come money makes the world go around and love doesn't? Is it because love hurts so much? Hey, do you believe in angels? How come each snowflake is shaped differently? When I was a kid and it rained, I thought God was crying, and sometimes I got so sad that God was crying that I would go to my room and cry with him and pray for him to stop crying. I thought God was in pain. How come there's so much war in that place called the Holy Land? How come I can close my eyes and see God but can never, never, ever hold him? How come? How come life's a mystery and a never-ending story made up of tears and smiles and pain? Mostly pain. Where's the glory? How come when we make love, we can come together, but out in public, out on the street, in front of my family and friends, when I want a relationship, how come you told me we could never go together? How come you told me you would love me unconditionally? Some people make promises for the pleasures of breaking them. How come? Last one. Here we go. This is one of my favorite poets who's passed on, but he's always with me. Little William Shakespeare. Little Will carries a big quill. Here it is. Oh, what a thrill. Friends, Romans, sacred grounds, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them, the good is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it here under leave of Brutus and the rest. For Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral, he was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me, my heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me. Thank you. Cool.
And Darlene. Yeah. Hey, Tony, was that somebody else's work, or was that yours?
Oh, that was William Shakespeare.
Okay.
Yeah, I meant to write that down.
You got to write what it is.
Mark
Anthony.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, particularly to see the young people coming, because I think the dream should be not only the neighborhoods coming together, but the generations. That means elders sometimes have to listen to the elders, but in turn, the elders have to listen to the youth. And the people in between have to listen to both sides. And we will listen to them. All right. So thanks for coming out. I give it up again for James Cagney. And I want everybody to give it up for themselves. This is this is what it's really about. I think we're beginning to see more mixing of it up. More people of color, more people of different generations. That's what this stuff is all about. We're supposed to be coming together, not be torn apart. And for as long as I can remember, the USA, the empire, has always tried to keep generations at each other's throats. There's reason for that. I won't go into it now, but I think most of us know if we're watching and thinking. So this is allowing us to come together and voice it. But what we also need to do, remember, there are people who I think love poetry, and we got to find them, and we've got to make that connection. And we've got to go out maybe and do more street theater, because we don't have much time. And we've got to raise the alarm like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's one of my favorite youth up there, because she told them we got 25 years.
If that.
And that's why she brought up the Green Plan. And here we had Nancy Pelosi caught in the headlights. And we saw what happened.
And
so we
Iceland
do
just
have
said
to,
it
we
last
have to, we do have to stand behind these people. And yes, shut up. Is that it?
No, and Iceland just said goodbye to its last glacier, and they put a plaque up. Yeah.
Well, and Greenland is what is it? 8 billion gallons a day now.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
So now.
So we don't have time. Really, we just don't.
We have a
We just don't have time. I mean, come on, let's
But
let's
let's
bring
win.
solidarity back, and I gotta end this
Let's
up.
end with a raffle.
And we gotta go.
Say goodnight,
Oh,
Gladys.
the great
Thank you,
stuff.
Rich.